GM, everyone. Hello and welcome to yet another Developer Skills. My name is MikPawel. I am the DevRel at Superteam Germany. And today I'm very excited to hop on a call with Leo from Blueshift. Well, actually, he did lots of different things that I can't even count. It's like Blueshift and Reflect Money. He's a member of Superteam, just a true OG. So without further ado, let's welcome Leo to the stage.
Hey guys, super happy to be here with my fellow Super Team Germany peeps. I always love you guys, so always happy to hop on a call and chat with somebody from the team. So yeah, brief introduction. I'm Leo. I've been in the ecosystem for 3 years. When I started, I wasn't technical. I just learned how to code and pretty much became a software developer in the last 3 years. Now I worked at Metaplex, I work at Turbine, and now I'm working at Blueshift. And as Mike said, Reflect Money. So I guess what you guys are mainly interested in is what is Blueshift, because I don't know, probably you've seen Blueshift on Twitter. We launched 3 weeks ago, and it's pretty much what we want to create, the new education platform for everybody that is coming from other chain, from Solana itself, to pretty much learn from zero and becoming a hero on Solana development. It's not only Rust related. If you know me, if you know Dean is my co-founder, the legendary Dean. You know that we specialize mainly on Rust and smart contract development, but we in general in the platform there are TypeScript courses, there are assembly courses if somebody wants to really be a nerd and just try it out, the low level system on Solana. There is Rust, there is optimized Rust, there is pretty much every flavor of thing that you might be interested in learning on Solana. And naturally is taught by the legendary Dean. So what a great opportunity to start. So thank you, Santosh. So yeah, pretty much we started Blueshift 3 weeks ago with an idea of me and Dean in the last 3 years contributed to pretty much most of the open source toolings, but not only that, we have one of the biggest collective repository of open source examples and both documentation and write-ups that lived on my Medium that got banned because Medium doesn't like crypto. And so after it got banned, I was like, man, I have all these research that helped me a lot, and I hope that helped a lot of people. And so we were thinking about it, and we were I think we can do something. We really love to teach people. I think we have a lot of examples that we can actually teach people as well. And so we just said, let's do Blueshift. If you guys know Dean, you'll know that Dean is the biggest nerd that I love into that. And nerd for me, it's a very good word. He's the biggest nerd, and this is why we call it Blueshift, because in theory is increased bandwidth, reduced latency, because it's the light effect. It's an evolution of the Doppler effect, and it's the light. The more the light is distant, the more the more it actually accelerates in our direction. And so this is why we call it Blueshift, because it was our own version of increased bandwidth, reduced latency, with a very, very technical and very, very scientific meaning. So yeah.
That's a very nice intro to what you are doing. And yeah, just for the audience, if you have any questions, Leo is very happy to answer them while we are going through their product and everything he has to talk about. So don't be shy on Twitter or on YouTube. Feel free.
Yes, please. I want this to be interactive. I haven't prepared anything because I just wanted to have a big chat. For people that know me, I'm just I'm big on presentation, but at the same time, I feel in stuff like that, I just wanted to pretty much respond to questions, see what people are interested in learning more about the product in general, and just talk a little bit about what we're doing there.
Sounds great. So yeah, I've seen that you have prepared to show us your website and have a short walkthrough. Maybe that would be interesting for people to also simultaneously maybe go through if they like. So here is the link, and we can directly hop into it.
Yes, let's do it. So as you can see, well, naturally, it's not just me and Dean. It's actually a team of 4 people, and we have one really, really talented front-end developer. As you can see, the UI is pretty neat. And yeah, pretty much this is the homepage. You can join the community. So join our Discord. We're very, very active. We respond to a lot of questions about like general development, but even about our courses. Naturally, Blueshift is a dev shop as well. We work with some of the top protocol in the space. We just shipped one of our biggest project with the foundation itself. That is the Solana record service that is going to become probably the new Solana naming service. And the cool thing about that that program that we talked with foundation was that do you guys are you guys down to create like the first Pinocchio implementation of like a very, very big product? And they were ecstatic about it. So it's probably not the first one, but like one of the first fully Pinocchio program that are actually on Solana with naturally P token and like other of this product. So yeah, other than the dev shot, the most important, the most interesting part that you probably want to learn about is that when we go and start learning, we have first of all we have two different paths. We have a courses and challenges. So courses is our main version of like more like technical and more like we're trying to explain pretty much everything that needs to be known about in this occasion, for example, Anchor. And so like you go through what are all the macros, how the accounts works, what are like instructions, and pretty much everything that you need before you actually need to write any code. But we like the documentation written that way, but we all were very, very big on actually do something with what you learn. And so this is exactly where the challenges actually came into fruition, because so you'll see here that when you take when you click on take challenge, we explain exactly what the challenge will do. So like what the program that you're going to build will actually do. And based on like the difference level, we're gonna be more hands-on in helping you or more hands-off. So for example, this is an easy challenge. So we're gonna give you a template. We're gonna tell you exactly how to structure your program, everything that needs to be in the state, everything that needs to be in the account structure, all the other, pretty much like you can just go through this and pretty much like without knowing anything about Anchor and anything about an escrow, you can just like do it. And then there are more hands-off challenges. So for example, the Pinocchio escrow that is a little bit more complicated. And you'll see here, for example, in the refund, we say, yeah, we're going to let you create your own account struct since you should be familiar with the process. So you can find different type of challenges based on like your level, but definitely by starting from like the vault, starting from the escrow, even if you want to start with Pinocchio, starting with the vault, you'll always be handled to building your own program. If it's not like through the challenge itself, it's through the documentation that we already created. And the cool thing about everything that we're doing here, that after that we create a system that lets you verify that you actually complete the challenge fully permissionless. So yeah, I guess I actually don't have a wallet on this thing, but you can connect your wallet. And the cool thing about that is that you can build your program. So you can do like Anchor build, cargo build SBF, and pretty much like create the .so file. That is what where all the logic of your program is contained. And you can upload it on your website. And we have a test suite on the backend that just like start running tests again that program. And if all the logic is sound, we're going to reward you with an NFT like this. And so this becomes like at the moment we just have just 5 challenges and 3 courses. We're gonna release a lot of TypeScript courses this week, probably by the end of the week. So on like SPL token, on the token 2022, and a lot more challenges. But the end goal of everything like this is that, for example, you not only can learn everything from like very, very basic concept to very, very hard concept. So for example, here we're talking about SCCP-2556R1. That is a cryptography curve that you can use for passkeys. So it's not just like very, very basic stuff. We want to teach people about like the really, really hard stuff in an easy way as well. And so the end goal with this is that people complete the courses, mint their NFTs, and in the future, for example, an employer could just go, I really need someone that it's actually really, really good in DeFi. And so they could go to on Blueshift and they'd say, oh, they have like some very, very DeFi specific courses. Let me see who passed. And like after that, it's very, very easy for them to say, oh, this is like a very, very good proof of work because it's fully permissionless. It's hands-on, but at the same time, it's like we're not creating the program for you. And so it creates a very, very good way to actually certify the proof of work and everything you do. So yeah, that was a very, very long introduction about Blueshift. I don't know if he has any question or wants to go in depth about something else.
Maybe before we continue, we have already some questions here. Like one is it possible to send to Binance wallets? I'm not really sure what you mean by that.
So the NFT probably. So it's actually, I don't think it's actually possible. Like you can, no, it's not actually possible because all the NFT are soul bounded. So it means that once you minted them, you cannot actually transfer them. And yeah, unfortunately, with the wallet adapter, I don't think Binance Wallet is available. So you probably will need to use something like Phantom, Soulflare, Squads, or yeah.
Here's like he added they support NFTs. Yeah, but the thing is about soulbound NFTs, maybe there was the problem that once you get an NFT on your wallet, you cannot send it to anyone else.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is why. No, you don't need it on an art wallet. Like even on an art wallet is completely fine since it cannot be transferred. So you just like go use Phantom, Soulflare, and just like backpack and mint it from there.
And is the whole concept of this framework that it's purely on a website, or do you have to code like in your own IDE?
So at the moment, it's you will need to use your own IDE. I think we're looking into doing like a website IDE like Solana Playground, but at the same time, it's like I like a lot Solana Playground. I use it sometimes when I need something fast and I don't want to build my program on local. But at the same time, it's like I think people that want to get really into the industry, they should learn how to use the IDE. So I think in general, we might just going to let them use the IDE and not like the web IDE, just because it just makes more sense. Like in a real work scenario, you will never use a Solana Playground, but you actually use a real IDE. So I'm guessing that probably in the future we're gonna just stick it to use your own local stuff.
It definitely makes a lot of sense because eventually, if you build bigger projects, you will have to use it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's impossible.
Do you have support for questions? I think
Yes.
he means besides like your Discord, probably, right?
So we mainly use our Discord. So, but yeah, we mainly use our Discord. So there are like right now there are I think 500 people there. Me and Dean and David, that is the other person is working on Blueshift. We're there all day pretty much. So we always respond really, really fast. So and you'll see that. Yeah, thank you, Mike. And you'll see that, for example, after you fail a couple of times the challenge, it will directly pop into your into like the challenge and say, hey, if you're stuck on something, please join. So the best way to actually learn more about and like in general like contact and like get help is always going to be the Discord.
Sounds great. Yeah, I think Blueshift might be very nice for some of our audience because it's not only like also of course like centered for people who are starting off, but also like wanting to expand their coding skills on Solana. So yeah, that's great. I know that we have some of our students actually here, so shout out to them.
Let's go. Yeah, it's been pretty insane. Like we just have 5 courses, but like in the last 3 weeks, we have like over 300 people already graduated from our courses. So it's actually quite crazy to think about that. 3 weeks ago, we were thinking about this stuff, and like right now, we have over 200 graduates that actually went through our courses. And I just wanted to add something about what you just said. That is like the main difference between, so naturally right now is mainly focused on beginner, but just because it makes more sense to start doing all the courses and all the challenges for beginner, just because these are like the people that really need this type of stuff. But our mission and like our vision in general would have been mainly to do actually intermediate to advanced, because in general, like what I see right now that is missing in the Solana ecosystem and in general, like in the job market, is that there are a lot of people that are looking for senior people to build on Solana. But actually, Solana is not that senior enough that a lot of people had the experience of like real hands-on experience with a company. Like a lot of them had startups, a lot of them have like small project example, and this is great. But the main problem is like when you go work with like one of these big company, you'll need to know how to interface with auditors, how to make sure that like all your code is safe, how to have unit tests that actually are good, and like Q&A testing and like all this type of stuff that usually when you build, like I've been there, I've done that. You build your own startup, it's like, oh yeah, I guess this works, so it's fine. But when you go work with a serious company, like you need to know how to set up webhooks, events, and like all this type of stuff that I think in general in the documentation and in general like in every piece of content that is on Solana is really missing. Like there is a lot of content about like how to start and how to create like an independent app, but there is not a lot of content of like how do you actually become a senior developer on Solana. And so the whole idea of Blueshift is to actually really focus on that part, to actually fulfill all these job position that people are looking for.
Sounds like an amazing all-rounder. But yeah, I didn't want to stop you too long. We already went deep in the questions, so let's continue with the product.
Yeah, I'll say I'll just continue with yeah. To be honest, like the product's really easy. Like I think other than this, there is nothing else. So I advise you guys to just like go through everything here, and like the content in my opinion is very good. It's very like it explains a lot of stuff, and like it just doesn't just go on the surface of like how to use Pinocchio, how to use Anchor. And for example, for Pinocchio specifically, we are one of the main contributor to Fable. Like okay, let's go a little bit back. For anybody that doesn't know what Pinocchio is a new very high performance Rust based crate that is going to substitute the Solana program library. And so you can write native programs with Pinocchio, and they're very optimized, very small, just because it uses a completely different concept of just like using reference instead of copying accounts and using them. And so me and Dean have been pretty much like contributing to Pinocchio for like the past 6 months. And we did other contribution with Ryan as well, that is another Super Team Germany member. And so we developed pretty much this new framework that maybe we're going to release it, maybe we're not going to release it, but you can find into the write-up, that we call Quasar, that it makes it very easy for people to actually perform the same checks that you would do in Anchor, but actually do it on Pinocchio. So like this is exactly what you would expect from Blueshift. Like not only content that is straight up copied or like revisit, like we always try to use our own flavor and just like explain the stuff like we would love to be explained to us. But like for me, it's literally that. Like 3 years ago, I wasn't technical. I didn't know anything about coding. So every time that I write something on Blueshift or in general, I always try to say, what would I have loved if like I started 3 years ago? Like what's the piece of content I would have loved to read about? And so this is always the way that we write stuff. So yeah, about the product, pretty much this is it. I'm just gonna add something about like the uniqueness of, and in general, like about the vision of Blueshift. The uniqueness is that, as I said before, we really focus hard on tooling as well. So it's not just we're not just an education platform. We want to make the DevX for everybody actually way better. And so, for example, the example of Pinocchio, but even like on assembly, you might have seen in the last couple of like 2 or 3 weeks on Twitter, there is a lot of people really interested in learning assembly. And like for that there is not even any content because nobody does it. Like Dean is probably the only guy that, like, before Dean nobody would write a program in assembly, and so Dean pretty much popularized that stuff. And we already have like challenges and courses ready, but we're actually delaying them because we're building all the tooling to make people that are not actually very, very deep into like how assembly works be able to actually build a program in assembly. And so it's like it's all this attention to detail on like not just the content but on the DevX as well, to make sure that people, when we go through our website, they're not frustrated, but they're just like very, very happy to learn something new. And about the uniqueness of our stuff is that, first of all, the challenge stuff to me personally is pretty cool. The fact that you can earn an NFT from learning, but it's not actually just like, oh yeah, solve this quiz, but like you actually need to code the program and like submit the coded program. But the cool thing about it is there are a lot of boot camps and like programs that are really, really good. But most of them require people to actually go through 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks of content. And this is great because like there are a lot of people that actually need that. But I believe that for the future of Solana, if we want to really attract the people that are already really accomplished into Web 2, we need to create something that is on demand. Because a Google engineer that works like it's 9 to 5, but like not even a Google engineer, like an engineer that works it's 9 to 5, it's very hard for them to follow bootcamp after work. But if you have something like this on demand, they could just like follow, for example, on the weekend, or they could just like, oh yeah, today I have free time, let me go through like 3 or 4 different lessons. And so I think the thing that Blueshift Empower is like all these people that are like at Web 2 jobs, or like maybe going to university, or maybe going to everything, and they don't have like a really fixed amount of free time. They could just like take on and just like go through, and like instead of like watching Netflix, they could just like learning how to code on Solana.
Yeah, thanks for the intro, Leo. You also mentioned that you are involved in Turbine. Probably some of us already know what Turbine is, but could you like just explain it very briefly and how Blueshift is different from them?
Yeah. So me and Dean both were like, I started on Turbine, and me and Dean both worked at Turbine. We have a lot of respect with what they're doing. I don't see us as competitor to them. For example, we're actually seeing just as like 2 different type of education platform that are going to push like the next 1,000 developer on Solana. So the main difference is, I think, what I was just explaining is like the difference between having a bootcamp or doing on demand work. And so both, like, Turbine has a lot of very, very good content. I really like their focus on the research side, and like I believe in general, like we excel in different part of the stack, so we can just like complete each other. So I think, for example, if you wanted to learn something about Pinocchio in general, you would probably go through Blueshift. But if you wanted to learn something about the research side, the SVM, like the validator, probably you will want to go through Turbine. And so I think it's like we have a lot of like respect to them. I think we just like complete each other, and yeah, we'll definitely work a lot together. And yeah, the main difference, I think, and the main unique point is like bootcamp versus on demand, and it serves completely to different parts. And so that's why I don't see any competition into that, because like bootcamp you can like have really, really selective people. With the on-demand, naturally, you don't have the possibility of like selecting the person. You have only the possibility of selecting skill. But at the same time, it's a huge chunk of people that we still need to serve to actually grow the ecosystem 10x from here.
I see. And both of the products have like some kind of graduation, right? You get some sort of certificate or verification that you have done both. Now, can people benefit from the certificate, or is it like seen by other companies that once you've done it, that they really see, okay, you know something?
Yeah, definitely. This is the end goal for what we're doing at Blueshift. At the moment, naturally, it doesn't make much sense because the courses are really really easy to do, and in general, like they're really really small. And like yeah, so there isn't much sense to do that right now. But in general, the way that we're thinking about NFTs is not just about certification, but it's even about like suggesting you what are your next step, because we can always track what you finished, and so we can actually we're developing some sort of algorithm that pretty much tell you, oh, if you finish this, you probably would like to go through these and these. And but definitely the end game, like when we started, this was the why we actually did the NFT, is that we will have like an employer portal where you could just like enter some filter and say, hey, yeah, I want people that are really really good on DeFi, I want people that are really really good in DePIN, I want people that are really really good in cryptography. And so like based on that, we're gonna give a score to different type of person based on like how many NFT they have. And so the employer then can just like send them a ping on their wallet, or like probably like we're gonna connect the wallet to a Twitter, or like some sort of like, if people wants to get contacted back, they can just like connect their username, their Telegram username to their wallet, yada yada yada, and pretty much like having the possibility for the employer to just like send them a message and say, hey, I know like you have this type of skill. We're searching for somebody like you. Do you want to go through the hiring process? Naturally, the main thing is like we don't want to. We're gonna maybe handle something manually, but we don't want to really like this is going to be completely free, like, completely permissionless. The employer can got in, but like at the same time, the employee can say, yeah, I finished all these certification, and so I can apply for this job. But yeah, we're not gonna take any fees from that. We're not gonna take anything from pretty much like positioning people into the ecosystem.
I see. And like coming back to the question about comparing Turbine with Blueshift, would you recommend that people do actually both if they have like time and they just want to deep dive into the space, or is it like somewhat overlapping?
So definitely it's somewhat overlapping, but at the same time, I think it's totally good. Like I think definitely it's like you get some of the content, mainly the basic content, is quite similar, just because that's the way you should start on Solana. But naturally, it's always good to hear the same explanation from two different person, because most likely we're gonna give we're gonna focus on two completely different part of the, like maybe someone is going to focus more on like the construct, someone is going to focus a little bit more on instruction, the logic, the setting up the program, etc etc. So I naturally, if like you're starting time, I wouldn't advise to go through both, but at the same time, it's like if you're free, you should just like always follow and like learn as much as you can. And so going through them, both of them is like totally good, and it's always fine, even if the content it's like the code is similar, the content I don't think it's similar.
Well, even if it's similar, it doesn't hurt for beginners to repeat what you've learned to eventually know at some point like everything that you've done, right?
Exactly.
So definitely a good idea to do both for people that want to start and just like dive very deep into it. And yeah, you mentioned yourself that you just began like 3 years ago with your coding experience, and you're already like a co-founder of like a teaching service like Blueshift. Would you mind telling us how your journey was? Like this is always something that I
Yeah.
love to hear.
Yeah, definitely. So 3 years ago, pretty much was studying biomedical engineering at like year in Milan, and I was like kind of bored, and like I said, I don't actually like it that much. It was almost done, but like it was like I actually don't like that much, and I had like one coding exam during my 3 years, and was like, oh, that I like a lot. Instead of just like starting like going through boot camps or like random stuff during the night, and that's why I'm really respectful towards Turbine, because Turbine, like actually I started with Turbine. My first bootcamp and my first approach to Solana was actually through Turbine. I did one of their cohort, and like after that I became like a teacher assistant and started helping a little bit on like the organization side, and like starting teaching a lot of people. In the meantime, what I did, and this is something that I always advise everybody to do, is like build your personal brand. Personal brand is really, really important because people get to know you really, really, really fast. And so like I just like said, well, I'm learning a lot of stuff. I'm discovering a lot of stuff that weren't taught into Turbine. And I think like people will actually benefit a lot from like learning this type of stuff. So for example, I did something like one of my first write-up was about instruction introspection, that at that time, like I think right now people know what instruction introspection is, but like at that time it was like it wasn't new because it always been there, but like not a lot of people were using it. And so I did a write-up on instruction introspection. It went really, really well, and it went so well that actually, if you search, once my medium was up, it's like if you search instruction introspection, like the instruction ceasefire, the first the first thing that would pop up on Google was my write-up, and like not like the official Solana documentation. And so like I started just like writing a lot. I think like my goal there was like to write a code snippet and a write up a week. And so after that, it just like I think I become like people started to know me in the space, and so like I become a little bit more like more a little bit of like an authority of on like the education part. And so after that, I pretty much just joined Metaplex for worked for them for a year. Really, really great for about like everything that I learned with them, and like the possibility of like teaching people that I had there, because I was doing a lot of workshop for people. I was doing a lot of like documentation works. I was writing a lot about like our products. And so yeah, after that, I just like co-founded my own company. It's called Reflect Money, and co-founded Blueshift with Dean. That to be honest, Dean is one of the biggest enabler of like my biggest growth, because like I don't know, like 3 years ago he like just took me under his wing, as I said, yeah, you don't know shit about coding, but like you seem hungry enough so I can teach you. And so he pretty much like helped me to go from like zero to hero by like just like always passing down all the knowledge and always passing down everything that he was doing. So definitely Dean was one of the biggest enabler. And so if you want to do the same, find a mentor. I don't know if Dean is available because he's a very busy man, but definitely find a mentor when you start.
This would be like one of my follow-up questions, because you've went from the start like to where you're at. If you would now talk to a complete beginner, or like maybe some students, for example, that they don't know in which direction they should go, but they want to start off in Solana, or maybe be like a full stack dev with like Solana experience, what would you recommend they should do? Like not only like, of course, starting off with Blueshift and everything that's out there with Turbine, but what afterwards? What would you recommend?
Definitely, as I said, personal branding is the number one. Write a lot about like what you think. Write about like a lot about developer. Don't be worried about like asking stupid question, because there are no stupid question. And I think like this is like very, very aligned with like the Solana community as a whole, because like in Solana, lots of people just like wants well. Like lots of people like me, lots of people like Dean, lots of people like Alessandro just wants to help you grow. And so it's like, even if you ask a stupid question, they will just like, there are no stupid question, and people will just like respond to you and like teach you exactly what you need to learn about that part. So always be very, very active on social, always be very, very active on Twitter, write stuff that it's your own, and like your own elaboration of like what you learn. Because first of all, you can teach a lot of people and like you can grow that way. But at the same time, it's very, very good, because by teaching people, you actually internalize so much more about what you just learned. So that's another very important point. After that, it's like just go to events, talk to people, and like find a mentor. A mentor really, really help. There are a lot of like Super Team Germany is one of the biggest example with that. Like if you go to a Super Team Germany events, you have like legendary devs that are just like popping there and just like responding questions. You have Justin, you have Ryan, you have Carlos, you have so many of like Bob hasn't been to our events lately, but is another very, very big legend. Shout out to Super Team to Bob Berger. But yeah, like all these people are like in Super Team Germany, so every time we have an event, you should always come, because you can always meet these people, and like they're always happy to help, always tell you how to grow, and always tell you, oh yeah, you're at this point, this is like how you should go about it. So definitely go to all Super Team Germany events, because they are the alpha.
And definitely participate in hackathons. Like
Yes,
this is very important thing to raise.
Yes, hackathons are really, really important. Like if you have zero experience, just like do hackathons, and maybe even like if you want to land a job, just like go to like the side tracks of like the company that you will want to hire. Is that like another big alpha that you can do?
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think you personally could tell lots about hackathons because you actually won one of the main track of last year's hackathon. Was it right?
Yes. The last Colosseum hackathon. Yes, me and my team won the I think it was like we won the Radar main track from Colosseum, and yeah, pretty much like after that, it's becoming it became my job full time. Actually, making sure that the startup goes on along, and it's called Reflect Money. If you guys are interested in learning more, it's a yield bearing stable coin that is fully on chain. So it's like an alternative to what Ethereum did on off chain, but fully on chain, so everybody can always assess the risk. Right now we're in private beta. We're probably going to launch the public beta in 2-3 weeks. So really exciting thing for me, but hopefully really exciting for the people that are listening as well to just like go to reflect.money, get a code, and just say we're gonna let you in as soon as we can.
Yeah, this Delta Zero strategy is something that we already seen on Ethereum that is working. So definitely a great idea to also move it to Solana with some changes. And I think we should definitely do like a developer's guild on that because the technical side is very interesting. How it actually works behind the scene that people don't see. I think it will be great to see how you did it and also walk through like just like your experience how to get from zero to a hackathon win, because we have like in this global hackathons there are more than 1,000 submissions to compete with, and like just being the one that wins is very valuable to people, and it will be like the next step after people graduate from Blueshift. So that will
Yeah,
be
definitely. Like if you and actually, this is a great idea. We should do like a zero to hackathon winner course on Blueshift. But yeah, definitely. Like to be honest, I'm not gonna say that that was my first hackathon and it wasn't my first company. So just like building a company is super hard. It's super romanticized, and like going through an hackathon is the same. It's like everybody say, "Oh yeah, just do an hackathon," but like these are not like the 2 days hackathon that people are they're like they usually do. It's like a month and a half hackathon, and so it's like you need to really grind hard. But I think like other than like really grinding hard, that like this goes on in life in general. Like you always need to grind as hard as you can to actually win an hackathon. First of all, is like you're probably not gonna win your first hackathon. It's tough pill to swallow, but like your first hackathon probably your pitch will not be great. Your like how you talk to people about your product will not be great. Your product probably in general will not be great, and so it's like but it's totally okay. Like you don't like if you win at your first submission, great. You like but I didn't win at the second. I didn't win at the third. I won at the fourth. And like I'm not ashamed to just say, yeah, my first pitch was dog shit. And so and so I'm really happy. And this is like everything that it's just like don't give up at the first note. Just like continue to iterate on the idea, continue to iterate on your skill. And as always, something I really like talk about it on your socials. It's like you really need to pique the interest of these people before they actually go through your submission, because what it happens like they have 1,000 submission. Usually the judge goes through 500 300 of like already shortlisted submission, and then they have like 300 submission, and like I don't know, like 10 days, 15 days, 30 days. It's like there is not enough time to go and see like each part of your project. And so it's like you really need to capture the interest at the first point. It's like people need to see the first thing that you're presenting and they need to be captured. So they go through the second files and the third file, the fourth file, the video, the pitch, and everything else. And the other way you do it is like, oh, if you talk a lot about your app on socials, when a judge maybe scroll on Twitter and see your post and say, oh, this is really interesting, and then they see it in the submission, they will always take good care on looking, because like, oh yeah, I saw that, it was quite interesting, but I really didn't understand what it was, and then they read your submission. So it's like It's these small acts about like not just human psychology, because that's human psychology, but even about just like letting them know that you exist, and like they should know more about you, I think works really, really well.
And of course, to add there, to increase your chances, like even if it's just the first hackathon you want to start out, join your local super team. In this case, probably most of the people are watching from Germany. So join Super Team Germany for the build stations, for boot camps that we do, because as Leo mentioned, sometimes the pitch is not good at the first time. And we are helping you out, helping you how to build a real pitch, or like a pitch that actually sells and performs. So join us in Berlin. We have lots of different workshops that we provide during those hackathon times, which will definitely help you out to succeed.
Yeah, definitely. And like lots of very, very good mentors as well. So you have to come true.
Exactly. It's just like the cheat code. You get increased chances to winning. Just walking through what we have missed, I think there was one question about if Solflare is cheaper than Binance Exchange.
I don't know. Like, yeah, I think there are two completely different things. Like Solflare, like every wallet is cheap as the same. Like I don't think you pay like other than paying for transaction fee, but that you would pay Binance Exchange Solflare. I think there is no difference. So it's just like once is like you actually own the keys. Binance, they actually own your keys. So it's very first good step to like getting into Web3 to actually know how your wallet works.
Exactly. And this is not only like to Solana, but basically with blockchains. So the Binance Exchange is a centralized exchange where you can buy crypto without having it yourself. You just have like the number, just like in a regular bank. And with Solflare, it's a wallet provider, like just a wallet that you have your custody by yourself, and then can transfer coins and interact with decentralized exchanges. So those are two different things that you should also tackle. And when thinking about this question, because this is like one of a very fundamental one, do you also talk about this on Blueshift, or do people have to have like some sort of general knowledge about how blockchain works and interacting with coins and stuff?
Definitely, it's something that we're gonna work through it. Like so in our dev shop work, we worked with a lot of like, for example, EVM developer, and we are really, really good. Like part of our package usually it's just like teaching their EVM developer how to develop on SVM. So definitely, it's going to come like a course about like difference between EVM to Solana, but probably like an introduction to blockchain, an introduction to Solana in general, like the account. Like definitely, it's in the work. Naturally, unfortunately, it's like me, Dean, and David. But all three of us have like 1,000 things to do, and like this is like our night and weekend fun project that I think is going really, really good. But naturally, unfortunately, it will not be like maybe that will be soon enough. But in general, it's like like we have so many requests by courses, and like we're trying to create a way to prioritize. But definitely, it will happen that you'll be able to actually do the like learn how to develop on Solana, learn how to develop on in general blockchain. What is a blockchain? EVM to Solana, all this type of stuff. Even because we want to really become the courses that blockchain clubs can teach their students very, very easily.
I see. So you want to be the first starting point when people are like hit with blockchain and Solana in general.
Yes, and like yes, and we'll become I know for a fact that we'll become the first place where people on Solana will. This is like my our vision and our idea, and I think we can make it happen.
Sounds amazing to me. And you mentioned like you don't have too much time like developing it further. Are you looking for people to help you out, or are you hiring anyone in this case?
So at the moment we're not hiring. Next week we're probably open source the front end, so it will become way easier for people to like correct typos, and like just like we're gonna maybe do some incentivized bounty about like some type of content. But yeah, no, at this time we're just like doing it and just like doing it for ourselves, for the people, and so just like slowly chipping away, but always chipping to the goal.
just slow steps to
Yes.
become the next learn tool for Solana developers. Love
Yes.
to see it. And I think besides that, we covered all questions. Do you maybe have some alpha? Like we already spilled so much alpha that I don't know if there's anything left. But is there something that comes to mind to spread to the Solana Germany community?
I'll just say one thing. Guys, you right now blockchain is in a position like 2 years ago wasn't that clear, but like I think right now blockchain is in a position where this could really become the future of everything. So you, if you're watching this right now, you have an edge over like the million of people that actually doesn't even know what blockchain is. And so if you really believe in blockchain, you really believe in Web3, this is a perfect moment to actually grind hard and be at the forefront of like the next innovation in the web. Just gonna say this.
We will meet again in like 1, 2, or a couple of years again, talk about Blueshift and how far we've come. So just just look at this video back, and then you will see that we predicted it.
And if you follow my thing, you become rich. Please spare some donation to Blueshift. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
There is like a new question that came up. But is it safe then to connect my wallet with your website if it gets open source, and also besides being open source?
Yeah, connecting a wallet is always fine on Solana if you don't sign any transaction. So like, and when you sign transaction, usually platform like Phantom, Solver, and Backpack have like what we call simulation, and so you can always see what happens inside your wallet. So yeah, in that occasion, yeah, I could just say trust us, but like you can actually verify that you're gonna pay some Sol for rent, and in exchange you're gonna get an NFT.
Yes, and also like on top of that, making it open source should secure the product itself instead of making it vulnerable. Of course, there might be some vulnerabilities, but I think in a platform that you provide with just like teaching technologies and learning stuff, you should be pretty well to go just connecting your wallet.
Yeah. We're not gonna never gonna ask you for money. So if somebody is asking you for money and it has my face on it, please don't do it. It's not me.
Yeah, and for questions, you said you have the Discord, but do you also accept messages yourself, or like the official Twitter that you have from Blueshift?
Yes, we try to stay on top of that stuff, but it's always hard. Like both of like our personals, our telegrams, and like our main page, we try to stay on top of that stuff, but it's not always easy. So Discord is always the best thing because it's not just me. It's like it's both me, Dean, and David. That and like there are like a lot of like giga chats, Solana developer there that just like can't have like all the rights to respond instead of us. So
Yeah, great to hear it. And I think, yeah, we have all covered. Thank you, Leo, very much for your time. We will have to see you again on another Developers Guild for Reflect Money and your journey on how you came to that. Definitely nice having you here. You're very welcome to all other events as always. Also for the audience, make sure to check out our Twitter where we post all news, and the next hackathon will be in a couple of months. So just right now is sort of the best thing to start off your journey if you want to be prepared for the next hackathon and then for the next job opportunity in the Solana space. So again, thank you very much, and see you guys in the next Developers Guild.
see you guys.